I'm Tinny from Design, and today I want to talk about tents. I've got a Henry Shire Rainbow 2 tent. I was going to buy the Rainbow 1, but the Rainbow 2 is a little bit wider, and I kind of like the tent. But here's what I don't like about it. If it's windy, the floor of the tent has a 6-inch area all the way around it with no seam netting on it, which you can pull up. And when it's windy, I pull that up to cut off that area, and then I take the two vestibules on the side and pull those in, and those go in and fold and tie right down tight to keep the wind out of it. But here's the drawback. When I do that, the two vestibules being pulled in cuts down on the width of the tent. And because those are in tight and the tent's fairly narrow, it tends to wobble back and forth in the wind. And if you watch some of my videos like the one I did on Moxie Bald Mountain, you can see that it's unacceptably bad in the wind with the vestibules pulled in. On the other hand, if I take those two vestibules and pull them all the way out, zip them down, and put the cords out, it gives me a much wider stance. And because the vestibules hook all the way around on the center pole, it makes it rock solid, and it's really good in the wind. But because I have the vestibules out, the wind can come in underneath them and come into the tent, and it's pretty breezy in there. It's not anything I'd want to do in cold weather. So in the cooler days, when I've got those vestibules pulled in to cut down the wind, it's not good in the wind, and you know, that doesn't work out that well. So I looked at another tent that I really liked, and I would really like to have, except for, and that is the Go-Lite Utopia 1. Now the Go-Lite Utopia 1 has two poles. Instead of one going down the middle, it has two smaller ones that crisscross and go down to all four corners, which makes it quite a bit rock solid in the wind. It says it's good in the wind, and I can see that because it has a 4-point instead of 2-point. And the vents on the side unzip and kind of fold open, and I really like that tent. But the floor in it is an add-on. It doesn't have a floor in it per se. You buy the floor, and it's a separate piece from the main tent. Now the problem we run into with that is, as I've read, and I don't own the tent, but I probably will, is that there seems to be a gap between the bottom of the tent and the top of the floor, and that lets a lot of insects and stuff in. You know, I wish they made that tent with a floor that's sewn in. So what I'm thinking maybe is, since I'd never use it without the floor because I'm not that fanatic of a weight thing, the floor doesn't weigh that much, maybe 3/4 of a pound, something like that, is that I might buy the Go-Lite Utopia and then take it to a tarp maker or a tent shop and have them put a piece of material, steel nylon or something, or no seam screen in from the floor up to the tent, have them sew it right in, and then I think I'd have the ideal tent. But as it stands right now, I wouldn't even try to use it as it's sold because that gap is unacceptable. All kinds of creepy crawlers and stuff could come in, and I don't like that. And from what I've read, that is a problem of it. The tent is basically, the Go-Lite Utopia is basically designed for people that are just absolute fanatics and would be pitching a tent in an area where they wouldn't need the floor, and where I'm going to be pitching a tent, that would not be acceptable. But it is a freestanding tent with the cross poles, and I really like that part of it. So that's my problem with these ultralight tents at the moment, and I haven't found the exact one that meets all my requirements, although that Go-Lite Utopia is probably as close as I've come so far. So that's my little thought on ultralight tents for the moment, and you know, I'm going to keep looking and until I come up with a perfect solution. So I'm Tinny from Design. Get out and hike, take a friend, enjoy the great outdoors, keep your tent tight, and more important than anything, have a really great day. Bye-bye.